All right, good morning. It's turned back chilly again in South Georgia. I guess it's in the low 40s. To us, that's chilly. That's not chilly compared to Indiana or Minnesota, but it's chilly here. All right, what I want to talk about this morning is, now let me tell you how I got started on it. I got my longbow out yesterday, my Howard Hill longbow, and I started shooting it again. And I've been shooting the blacktail Sitka, which is this one. So I decided, hey, I want to get the longbow out again and shoot it and make a comparison, because I've been shooting this for like 3 months now, 2 or 3 months, and I have not been shooting the longbow. Okay, so you can see that these handles are very different. This is referred to as a pistol grip handle, and this is a longbow grip. The size of it, I can reach around this and I can't touch my fingers together. If I turn my hand, I can barely touch my fingers together. This one here, I can touch my fingers together, but it's actually about the same size in all. But what I noticed was I was having trouble, I'll lay this down. I was having trouble with where to place the longbow in my hand. You can place it this way, and not use this right here. This is the strong point of your hand right here. If you put your hand on the ground to hold yourself up, you're going to do it with this right here, the meat of your hand. Like that. But it's difficult. I started shooting pretty good, but then I began to have a little trouble. I wasn't making as tight a groups, and I was fidgeting with how to hold this thing. Now, to really, really get a good, strong hold on it, a really good base, I would say, you have to turn your hand inward like this. If you do this, you're just holding it with this part of your hand. You see, the strong part is not touching it. If you rotate it inward, if I was going to be trying to really hold this thing, I would want it right there. Well, the problem is you have to rotate your arm in like that, and it brings it closer to your string. You see there? This way, see, the string is out, and you notice that now it's very close to being on the string. And that's the best way to grip this, to really get a good steady pull. But there's no reference here. Now this one here is dished in just a tiny bit. You see there? That's dished in just a little bit. Some of them are straight. All right. But now when I get a hold of this one, the way this is cupped and dished in, look, I'm on the strong part of my hand. See there? I don't have to go like this. I'm on it. Very secure. I can feel the pressure right in here. Very strong. And I can find that spot. This is more of a guesswork thing. I really prefer to have my hand out on this, but the problem, see, like this rather than this rather than this, but it brings my arm so close to the string. And finding the perfect spot to hold this is guesswork because it doesn't have any references like the pistol grip. And that's what I started having trouble with while I was shooting yesterday. Zach, I can't quite remember how to hold this thing. You know, I wanted to really have a solid brace, see? But that doesn't feel good either. I know that Howard Hill had huge hands. Howard Hill was known for having huge hands. That was one of his physical attributes. There are athletes out there that have huge hands. One of the things, like some quarterback, let me tell you this. The reason I wasn't a quarterback in football is because I have small hands. I had all of the physical attributes to be a quarterback, but I couldn't grip the football. The football was too big for my hands. They say Joe Namath has huge hands. I think he's still alive. My point is this: somebody with gigantic hands would be able to hold this kind of bow more securely. And that's what Howard Hill. Let me tell you how I know Howard Hill had big hands. I was over at the Howard Hill, Jerry Hill tournament one time, 30 years ago. And they had some stuff in the little building there that belonged to Howard Hill. And one of the things they had in there was his archery glove. His archery glove was gigantic. And I said, my God, what size hands did that man have? So my point is this: if you have gigantic hands, you're going to be able to handle this, I think, this kind of a handle better. Going to be able to handle anything with your hands better, whether it's throwing a football or whatever. I don't have gigantic hands. And I only notice the difference when I get the other style bow and I say, hey, I like this a lot better. And I can make tighter groups with it. I can find the grip of the bow. What I'm saying is this: I'm suggesting that the longbow has a lot of good points about it, but the handle is not one of them. That is not, you can't mold your hand to that very well, and you can't quite find it. If you have small hands and you want a longbow, I think they make longbows that have pistol grips. I don't think there's any rule against having a grip like this on a longbow. I would shy away from the straight traditional longbow handle. I think you'll get better results if you have a pistol grip. Now, I can't say for somebody that has gigantic hands. I have a feeling that Howard Hill would have done better with a pistol grip. But that wasn't the kind of bows they had back then. That only came in later as he began to get older. Let me show you one other thing. bear with me a minute and I'll try to make that point. Hold on, let me get my other thing here. All right, you know what this is. This is a Ping 9-iron. Now I'll call this the grip. It's perfectly round and it tapers to a larger butt. You see there? It starts small here and it tapers up. But there's no indentations in it, no nothing. It's round. Well, back in the 50s, somebody came out with a golf grip that had, they called it grip reminders. And what they did was, a guy that really knew how to hold a golf club made a grip, you know, one of these that had indentations on it. Like he got one made out of something like putty, and he put his hands on it and squeezed it, and then they took it off and let it dry, and they used that as a mold. You can still find some golf clubs with grip reminders at pawn shops and stuff like that. They're back from the 50s. And they also made a practice club. I can't remember the name of it, but it also had the grip reminders that had the indentations of exactly how to put your hand. Well, after a few years of that being out there, the Royal and Ancient Golf Regulating Board outlawed the grip reminders. You can't have grip reminders. You have to have a cylindrical handle. It was okay to have it bigger here. Well, that keeps it from flying out of your hand. But you couldn't have anything on there. You couldn't tape it a certain way or anything. Now, why did they outlaw it? Because it was better. It gave the amateurs a way to find out how to hold the golf club the very best way, like the pros did. So they outlawed it. Well, that shows that, and I will call this almost like a pistol grip, you know, the grip reminders. So this right here is an innovation that came out sometime, I don't know exactly when, 40s, 50s, I'm not sure. But the archery tournament people didn't try to outlaw this. But this is an advantage, is what I'm saying. Just like grip reminders on a golf club was an advantage. And they wanted you to just have to do it this way. They wanted you to use your own skill, your own practice sessions, everything to know exactly how to hold this golf club. And see, the grip reminders had you holding it in exactly the right place with the blade being straight up and down and all that. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I think this would be like a grip reminder on a golf club. It shows you exactly how to hold it. It makes it much easier. Okay. Now guys out there, when they have tournaments and they have longbow competition, I bet they have this kind of handle on their longbow. I've watched a little bit of it, and I watched one the other day, and yes, both of them had handles on their longbows that were like this. I think it's better. So that's what I'm telling you. I don't recommend this kind of handle for a longbow. I recommend this kind of handle. And there are other differences, you know, between the longbow and the recurve. I like a longbow and I like a recurve. But I wish it had this kind of handle right here. But I didn't know any better when I bought the longbow. You can still kill stuff with it. You can still shoot pretty good. But this right here gives you a good way. See, my palm heel, this is what you call the palm heel. Palm heel. It's making solid contact with that wood. I don't have to turn it under like that. It's making solid contact with that wood. Shine it up there on the target. I'm aiming at that piece of aluminum foil up there. With this recurve bow. Whoa, I missed it, but I killed that pig, okay? Oh, come back here, brother. Now, there's another kind of bow called the flat bow. So a lot of bows that people make, self bows, don't have any kind, they're just flat right through here. They're flat like this. They're thicker in here, but they're flat. I don't know. Those, I believe those would be harder to shoot, but because they're not very thick, see, a flat bow is going to have a grip about this thick right here. But see, I can reach around that really well. That might be different right there. But I don't like this. Although this bow here is 15 years old, and I've had 4 different longbows. So let me wrap it up. If I got a longbow, I would try to get one that has a pistol grip. I would shy away from the straight, traditional longbow grip. There's another difference in the recurve and the longbow that you can consider too. A longbow with a pistol grip, I think, is fine. But I want you to watch this right here. You see this, how delicate this is right here? I can take this and twist it right there. See how delicate that is? That's easy. When you're stringing it, that's easy to, you can damage it if you don't use a bow stringer. Sometimes you can get it strung and the string will be over here a little bit and you'll have to straighten it out. This is a very delicate piece of woodwork here. Now you can you could break that. You could twist this with your hand far enough to get this string and get it over here and damage this bow. You can damage these recurves because the recurve tips are so delicate, but they make the bow spring faster. Now look at the difference here. See here? I can't move that. And this longbow, this thing here is, you're not gonna hardly twist the limbs. See there? I don't think I ever heard of a longbow with a twisted limb. So they are very stable. Let's keep it right here.
Mm-hmm.
I got one more arrow here I'm going to shoot, and I'm going to shoot it with the longbow. I'll show you the difficulty I have in gripping this thing. I'm just not sure where I want it. I don't want it way in here, don't want it way out there, but this is essentially guesswork is what it is. It shoots good. Let me go grab those arrows just a minute. Let me see if I can get a tight group in here using the recurve. Using the 3-finger under, thumb knuckle to the cheekbone, gap method. Now, there are a lot of people that can shoot better than that, but I'm satisfied with this kind of results. Using my blacktail Sitka. Whoop, that one was a little high. Using the blacktail Sitka, 47 pounds. All right, that's the end of what I got to say about that. I didn't want to throw off on longbows too much, but I did want to, I think it's about the handle, the grip style. All right, this is Gardner Israel signing off.